Paid $700 for a storage unit. Found a terrifying Orca attack tape. It all started with a cloudy Wednesday morning and a coffee that tasted like regret. I had no big plans that day until I got a notification on my phone. Rare unclaimed storage auction. Scottsdale, Arizona. No photos. Now, I've gambled on units with no previews before, and usually, it ends in old mattresses, half-used shampoo bottles, and tax documents from 1996. But this one was different. The listing said the unit had been untouched since 2004, and the facility manager added in the description, previous owner worked in marine research, contents unknown. That one sentence grabbed me by the throat. I clicked bid, starting at $500. Other thrill seekers were in, but I was determined. The number climbed $550, $600 finally. I smashed the bid at $700. No one counted. It was mine. Opening day. The unit was tucked in a quiet corner of the facility. Big metal door. A little rusted around the edges. I opened it slowly. The scent of dust, sea salt, and VHS plastic hit me. No furniture, no clutter, just boxes, neatly stacked, all labeled by year. One word was scrawled on most of them, SeaWorld. My heart skipped a beat. Tapes, tapes, tapes. The first box I opened was filled with mini DV tapes and VHS cassettes. Labels like Shamu Show, February 1998, Trainer Session, Don B, Night Footage, Restricted. Each one felt like holding a secret. There were old camcorder batteries, some half-working marine-grade headsets, and faded parts. One had the name, Dr. R. Geller, Orca Behavior Research. Okay, now it was officially here. The tape, in a dusty Tupperware bin, wrapped in a Ziploc bag, was one tape, not labeled, no case, just, do not duplicate, red marker. I popped it into my old VHS to USB converter. Footage was rough, with rolling static. A timestamp read, June the 17th, 1999. The scene, oh cool, not a public show, more like behind-the-scenes footage. Trains are walking along a platform. A massive orca exploding concrete. Out of nowhere, the animal launches forward, fast, aggressive. The camera shakes. One trainer screams. The orca grabs a leg, pulls the trainer under, thrashes. Let's go. Blood appears. You hear panic shouting, whistles. It cuts to black. I sat there frozen. The researcher's notebook. The next day, I dug deeper into the unit. Under the final box, wrapped in a towel, was a leather-bound notebook. Inside were research notes, sketches, behavior logs of orcas. Strange things like, Keiko's patterns more erratic after feeding, not safe in pre-em sessions. Avoid deep tank work. Don't trust Tilikum. Then this, Incident 6/17. Tape sealed. Legal advice silence. Destroy evidence. Footage confirms unprovoked behavior, not documented publicly. My jaw dropped. Was this real? I sent the clip to a friend in marine conservation. He called me 5 minutes later. Where did you get this? I explained. He replied, dude, that's not public footage. That's from the case we weren't allowed to talk about. Apparently, this attack was never released to the media. The trainer survived, but under NDA, the tape was confiscated. Somehow, this backup ended up in store. Forgotten, hidden, to call. 3 days later, I got a call from an unknown number. Is this Mr. J? Depends who's asking. This is the SeaWorld legal team. We'd like to discuss some property you recently acquired. My hands got clammy. I bought a storage unit. Legally, we understand. However, certain materials in that unit are considered proprietary and were never meant for public release. We're prepared to offer compensation for return of the items. They wanted the tape. Decision time. I posted a teaser on Reddit, nothing graphic, just a still frame, and found a tape in a storage unit, possibly unreleased marine park footage. Within hours, it blew up. People beat me nonstop. Some offered money, others begged me to leak the footage. I was torn. I didn't want to get sued, but I didn't want to bury the truth either. A stranger at my door. That night, someone rang my doorbell at 11:45 p.m. I checked the tape. A man in a dark suit. No way. Mr. J, we need to talk. I didn't open. I called to talk. He vanished before they arrived. Now this felt bigger than a storage unit flip. The hidden file, buried in a CD wallet inside the unit, was a burn fix, handwritten, backup, added. It was a cleaner version of the tape, less blood. Maybe it was meant for internal review. One last page in the notebook. This never leaves the lab. Not after last time. tape was meant for behavioral analysis, not PR. If found, destroy. My final move. I made one copy and stored it off-site. Another is with a lawyer. The originals, I returned them under legal agreement, but not before ensuring the story was safe. I can't release the footage, but I can share the truth. Not every storage unit has treasures. Sometimes they hide dark secrets. The world tried to forget, and all it cost me was $700 and maybe some peace of mind. Let me know if you'd like the YouTube description, thumbnail prompt, or tags for this one. Shot 5000 paid $700 for a storage unit. Found a terrifying Orca attack tape. The aftershock. Over the next few days, my world became smaller. I noticed a black sub parked across the street more than once. My mail started arriving open. Well, not at all. A few nights, I'd hear tapping on my back window, only to find no one there. Maybe it was paranoia, or maybe someone was reminding me, stay quiet. Still, I couldn't stop thinking about that tape. Why wasn't this made public? Why were the injuries never disclosed? How many other accidents were buried under contracts, sealed court documents, and corporate threats? The message board leaked. I decided to take a different route. I created a burner account on an obscure marine biology forum and posted a redacted description of what I saw. No names, no timestamps, just the behavior of the orca and the response of the trainers. Within an hour, an ex-SeaWorld employee replied anonymously. His comment, "I know exactly what you're describing. It wasn't the first time, and it wasn't the last." That reply got deleted in minutes. His account vanished right after, but I managed to screenshot it. More than one tape. Back in the unit, I went through the remaining boxes one last time. I had almost missed a false bottom in one of the bins. Underneath was a thin folder labeled Incident Compilation, Confidential. Inside were screenshots, frame grabs, notes, behavioral diagrams showing patterns of aggression in multiple organs across multiple parts. One note stood out. Pattern recognition suggests seasonal triggers. Shift to underwater filming to avoid overhead screening. Who is this for? Who is supposed to read it? The hidden camera. Then I found it. A mini UV camcorder still in its waterproof case. The battery was long dead. I charged it overnight. What was on? Training footage taken from inside a tank. Looking up, the orca swam slowly, peaceful. But the next clip, a different orca, snapping violently at a floating training dummy, dragging it under, then surfacing and slamming it. No trainers, no audience, just rage. Why keep this? What were they preparing for? The interview. One brave voice reached out. An independent journalist covering marine park controversies. She'd been following whistleblower stories for years. She interviewed me anonymously. We blurred the footage, altered the audio, but she confirmed something chilling. The incident on your tape. That wasn't an isolated case, but you've got the only known surviving footage. She sent me case reports, redacted trainer testimonies, and legal documentation showing multiple MD assigned between 1,995 and 2,005, all involving worker attacks. The public never saw any of it. Return everything. Now, a cease and desist arrived 2 weeks later from a top law firm in Alabama. You are in unlawful possession of confidential and proprietary media. Immediate surrender of all materials is demanded. I was advised not to fight them, but I still had copies, distributed, encrypted, with trusted friends. The truth wouldn't disappear, but I didn't want to die on this hill. I gave them the originals, or at least what they thought were the originals. Auction regret or jackpot. So was it worth it? $700 for a unit that nearly got me sued, stalked, and scared senseless. You tell me? Most people hope to find old coins, vintage toys, or antiques in storage auctions. I found evidence of something dark, hidden for decades. No one would believe me without the footage. But those who know, really know. They've stayed silent far too long. The final tape. Weeks later, I got one last package in the mail. No return address, just a USB stick. Inside, a compressed version of the same Orca attack, but with audio commentary from the researcher himself. A tired, cracking voice said, "We tried to suppress it. We thought we were protecting the animals and the people, but some truths don't stay buried." If you're hearing this, I hope you understand. We were all afraid. My message to you, if you're ever tempted to buy a cheap storage unit because it might have something cool inside, be careful what you wish for.